Well, hey there, naughty friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Chris, aka Naughty Bear. I'm an amigurumi designer, crocheter, and just a silly crafty guy here on the internet. And I post new videos every single week. So if any of that sounds good to you, be sure to stick around. And this week, we're going to be keeping it a little bit more casual. I couldn't think of a topic that I wanted to talk about this week, and I think I was overthinking it. I was like, you know what? Let's just pull back a little bit and just do a little bit of crochet, catch up with you all. We're going to talk about, some things I got coming up, what I'm doing in my day-to-day right now, and even a little bit of yarn drama maybe, and just some light stuff. Well, the topics are a little bit heavy, but I'm going to go a little bit lighter than some other people, but I think it'll be fun, hopefully. So grab a little beverage, a warm drink, or whatever you got going on. I'm working on my second coffee of the day here, of my yarn ghost mug, crocheting mug here, part of the Naughty Ween merch that I have going on. I'm also decked out in the t-shirt as well. Listen, if you can't sponsor yourself, who the hell can you sponsor? Is that the saying? Anyways, I should say thank you to everyone who's been purchasing things from the shop. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot to me. It means I can keep the website alive. And I do have a little bit of an update on that. Some of you in the EU and Europe have been asking if I'll be doing shipping there. And unfortunately, I've just looked into it some more, and I don't think at this time it's really possible. Just because of the cost, you have to have a representative, and they have to look through every item, and it's a lot of bureaucracy and money. And at the level I'm doing things, it's just not, I don't want to say worthwhile, but you know what I mean. I just can't make it happen. It doesn't make business sense. So for now, I'm unfortunately not allowed to ship, or able to ship there rather. So I am sorry about that. Stay tuned. I'll let you know if something changes. But as of right now, the US, shipping to the US has been okay, going well considering everything. And Canada and UK and I believe Australia are all fine. But I do apologize about that. Anyways, let's get on with our little video here. What do I want to start talking out with first? Oh, I should mention what I'm going to be working on. I just grabbed a really easy project to work on while I'm doing this. I'll try and put some video here of me working on it. I'm going to be using this Fantasy Jumbo from Hobie, which was in one of my reviews that I did like months ago. And I actually made a little really basic scarf out of it, but I love the colors in it. It's so blue and beautiful. It's a little, sorry about the the dog hair. It's like right next to where Cypress sleeps, but it's very cute. So just randomly burped, sorry about that. So I want to make a matching toque or winter hat for it, and I did start one already, and I had to frog it because it was just looking really lumpy and it was too big. So I've already started my chain. I'm just doing half double crochets, really simple, because I've learned that anything more than this, like doing amigurumi and talking at the same time, is just not happening for me. I just can't do they're two different skill sets at the same time. So this is nice and easy for me. Anyways, what else do I have to talk about? I got a couple little deliveries the other day that I wanted to show. So if you watch the channel often, you will know that I have a wonderful viewer named Susie, and she sent me a couple of my favorite hooks, the Addy swing hooks, which I use in like all my videos. They look like this, and she sent me a couple of them. She had a bunch but couldn't find them all. And she was so kind to do that, and I would never ask anyone to ever do that. But she actually ended up finding the others in her stash, and she sent them my way. And these are the extended shaft ones with the longer shaft. So I actually didn't have a huge problem with the other ones, but now having tried these, I don't think I could go back. I mean, I probably could, but the biggest complaint I've heard from a lot of you when you tried these was you didn't like, they're about almost half the size. I have one around here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I can show you a direct comparison maybe. Okay, it's like as soon as I got these, I tossed the other ones out the window. But you can see from these two here, the yellow one is the original length, and then the orange one, I mean, they're different hook sizes, but you can see there that the length is a little bit more anyways. Anyways, you really notice it. I'm a huge fan. Everyone give Susie a little bit of love in the comments. Thank you so much for that. That is awesome. And the other bit of little thing that I got was a thank you from Premier Yarns, rather, which if you watched the video where I did a little pillow for them for their new chenille launch, it was the plush, Premier plush, I believe. Yes, it was called the Premier Parfait plush, which I really liked. It was a great chenille yarn, and I did, if you remember, this little tea kettle pillow thing that I actually don't have anymore. I sent it to them. They want the final completed project sent to them. So I have to make another one. I still have the yarn for it, so I do have to do that. But they sent me this really cute thermos slash water bottle, which I put some of my little Knotty Ween stickers on there just to decorate it a little bit. But super cute. I needed one of these for the office, so thank you for that. It's always really kind to get a little extra thank you after they did a bunch of stuff. They actually sent me in the original package a bunch of little cute things, so I was surprised to get this. So thank you to them. That is really going to bother me. So those actually fell, and then they fell behind. I had to go get them. They fell down. I looked for them, but I didn't see them, but it's gonna bother me. Let's put something there. Let's put this little rattlesnake, Geoperta, I think it is now. I don't know, nerd. Let's put her there. Little derpy flame sprite. I can't remember what we called her, but she's cute. She's a free pattern if you're interested. Put that there. Also, I don't know if you can see in some of my videos, I put these little dividers for the yarn here in the video where I redid the office, and for the most part they've worked out really nicely. However, for some reason with the yellow one, which I just hid, you can kind of see it's starting to bend. This one's looking very S-shaped. I'm gonna have to fix that before it gets completely ruined. I do have a couple extras, so I'm gonna have to replace them. Yeah, just something to worry about in the future. The other thing I have going on tonight, it's finally our Ethel Cain show that we've been talking about. If you've watched the past couple videos, the one where I went to the cottage, I was working on a skull shawl, which I'll put a photo here for you if you missed it. And that worked up surprisingly quick. It was a free pattern. I used a cotton gradient color changing yarn. I think it's called Sultan King something. I'll put the name of it there. And it turned out even better than I thought it would. And tonight's the night where I actually get to wear it. I am hoping I can do like a last minute craft project, which if I do, I'll include the final outfit here anyways. But I have a black t-shirt. And of course, I got influenced by a TikToker who bleached their shirt like bleach art, which I had never really seen before. Essentially, you mix bleach with water and then you paint it on like a black shirt or whatever, and it dyes it like this amber color, which is perfect. If you saw the skull shawl, it's like black and amber. And if you know Ethel Cain, those are her like two main colors. So I want to do a gardenia on a shirt because that's in theme with the Ethel Cain lore, and I think it would be really pretty. But of course, I've left it really, really late. The concert is tonight, and I have the shirt, and I drew like a quick outline of it, of the gardenia. If it works out, I'll include it here. If not, then you may never see it. We shall see where I get to. I have to go pick up some bleach is the issue. I thought we had some around, but I just can't seem to find the bottle. So we're very excited for that. This was my first time ever buying like reseller tickets. We bought them through StubHub, which I've heard mixed reviews about. For the most part, I hear even if there is an issue with your tickets or whatever, they do a pretty good job at, sorry if I hit that, a pretty good job at like refunding you. This ball of yarn needs a minute, 1 second. But we did get our tickets yesterday, even though we bought them like months and months ago. Apparently that's pretty normal as well. I'm just like so paranoid that they're going to be fake. But we shall see. Hopefully we get in okay. We haven't been to a concert in a minute, mostly because they are so expensive. Gaga was just here. We really wanted to go for this era of Lady Gaga, especially. It feels like she's back in her old form and just like top form. She's like doing so good. Her music's amazing. Her vocals sound amazing. And the show looks so good. But the tickets were like, I think $800 per person or something like that here in Toronto anyways. And that's not even like the scalper version or the scalper prices. So I don't know how many tickets or how many concerts we'll be going to, unfortunately. But this one was still, she's pretty big, but she's not that big. So, but they were still expensive enough. but sometimes it's worth it to go see your favorite artists. The other thing that we've been getting really excited about is our trip to Peru this January, February, which I know is technically, it's summer in Peru, but it's also known as their wet season, which is kind of like the time when you wouldn't really go, because even though you would go in winter, it's so mild there. It's not like the winter I think of anyways. But we're going because we have a friend there and we have family going. So it wasn't really up to us on the timeline or the time of year that we're going. So we're just gonna make the best of it. It's still beautiful and amazing, and it is warmer obviously, but that just comes with more rain. However, we just decided yesterday that we want to do the hike to Mount Machu Picchu. We were going to just take the train, but then I just kept getting influenced by other people on how amazing the trek is, even in January, February, hopefully. So we're going to prepare for it. We are outdoorsy people. It's, I think, 4 nights, which is pretty intense. However, you go with a guided tour and they supply all your meals and all the things you'll need. And the donkeys or horses that are with you do carry your backpacks. You have a limit to how much you can put in it, obviously. But there will be like showers and restrooms and things like that at certain points and things. So it's not the end of the world. I think it's going to be honestly pretty beautiful and like a stunning experience that we'll remember forever. So I'm getting very excited about that. And of course, you know me and any other fiber artist, when we have something planned in the future, we have to use our craft somehow, involve our craft somehow. And this is no exception. I'm thinking what I want to make is a hooded poncho. I'm not entirely sure on which pattern I want to use. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Like I said, it's hard to prepare for the weather there. You really have to wear layers because it could be raining one minute, it could be snowing. Even in the summer when you're that high up, you'll be going through with the Andes and parts of it are very cold. So we need something that can kind of take off and put on. So I'm thinking a poncho would be good. It would also be very fitting for that area, obviously. So I think that's gonna be really cute. I have some fabulous green wool that I'm thinking of using for it, and I just need a like matching color. I just wouldn't want to be one color. So we shall see how it goes. Anyways, I'm very excited for that. I think this is gonna be a great trip. We love to travel. Well, we hate the actual, or at least I do, the actual part where you're in the air and traveling. Not that I care about flying, it's just lots of people and lots of waiting and just being uncomfortable. It's not as fun, but once you're there, it's always amazing. And I've heard the food is just fantastic. So excited for it all. Let me know, should I do like a vlog? I wasn't sure. I did a little bit of a vlog when I went to Greece. And some of you seem to enjoy that. Now, Peru actually has a lot more connections to us in the fiber community because they make a lot of Peruvian wool. And I think some of the most expensive, rarest wool comes from there, if I'm not mistaken. So I would like to look into that. Maybe if you're interested in seeing that, I can put some things into the trip that involve visiting some of these places. So definitely let me know if you would watch that. I can't wait. I'm sure it's gonna come super fast and be here in no time, so I just have to really plan things now, so definitely let me know. I just saw that Aquaria Wool, who's an amigurumi artist, just announced, I think this is a book or a collection of bottomals, which is like botany meets animals, and they're super cute. Look how adorable these are. I'm super jealous of these designs. These are really cute. I can't wait to maybe try and make a couple of them. Good for her. She's a fantastic designer. We love to see it. I think she just literally just announced it. Actually, while I have you guys here, anyone in the US, if you have suggestions for similar yarns to like the ones I use, like the Friends Cotton from Hobie, but that are made in the States, definitely let me know. Leave it in the comments. A couple of you have been asking, and honestly, I obviously don't live in the States. I'm not 100% sure. I mainly use Friends Cotton. I've heard Yarn Art, I think it's Jeans, has a really good yarn as well. But let me know in the comments below. It's hard too, because a lot of the amigurumi artists I follow who do amigurumi like mine, it tends to be more of a Europe kind of thing, where I find a lot of US and even Canada is more of the chenille plushies. It's kind of like the trend, which I'm interested to see how that plays out in the future, if chenille yarn will be as popular as it is now going forward or forever, or if it's just like a really trendy thing in the moment, or if Europe will ever switch over to chenille. We will see. Obviously, I prefer my cotton yarns, but I think chenille is also very cute, and there have been a lot of leaps made as far as like the quality of chenille yarn. I'm just trying to figure out this yarn ball. It does not want to cooperate. I'm just curious to see how that all the trends play out and everything. Like I was saying at the beginning of this video, I was trying to think of like a topic I wanted to talk about or something I wanted to do for this week's video, and I was just really feeling unmotivated. That's one of the things about being on social media and YouTube. Like, you're committed to posting every week, and I love it, don't get me wrong, but some weeks I'm just like, I don't want to. I'm really not feeling it. And I feel like I was just bragging about how I was ahead a couple videos, which I like to be, but then I kind of fell behind. And now I'm back in the same routine. So this is a good little reset. I have a couple videos that I'm working on right now, so hopefully we'll get back to that. But one of the reasons you may have clicked this video, and one of the video topics I was going to do, is about some drama in the fiber arts community right now. And I ended up scrapping it just because some of the topics were a little bit more serious. One of the main reasons I didn't want to talk about some of the drama going on is because I didn't feel as qualified as some people are to talk about them and the topics going on. So I was kind of like, you know what, I should just leave them to them. With that said, we do love a little bit of drama. I'd love to hear your input down below. And it's nice just to kind of look at from a distance every once in a while.
The drama did not make him want to move out. Well, of course not. Drama is like gay man Gatorade. It replenishes their electrolytes.
As long as you're not involved in it. But the big one this week that I'm sure most of you have heard or saw was that video on like the science behind knitting, or that, at least that's what it was supposed to be. It was put on YouTube by a channel called SciShow, which I had never heard of before. However, the host was Hank Green, who I do know. He is a pretty famous YouTuber, social media person, scientist, and he looks through everything and like breaks things down in a scientific way, which is really educational. I think in general is pretty great. I have enjoyed some of his content. One of the things that kind of connected us was he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in like 2023, very recently, and he kind of brought everyone along on that experience and really shared all the ups and downs and did it in a very like calm, matter-of-fact way, which, if you don't know, I also had Hodgkin's lymphoma, but mine was like 10 years ago. And having that resource when I was younger would have been pretty awesome to see someone go through it in a way that was like, you know what, I'm gonna be okay, this is what we got to get done. So I did appreciate that. However, that has nothing to do with this. They did this video, which, like I said, he was the host, but I'm sure he's a scientist. He would have, or should have, looked into the facts and everything like that. But it's not all just on him. However, my favorite video on this is called "Did Hank Green Just Explain Knitting?" by Deborah Knits. I think that's really funny. Because it kind of felt like that. It was kind of like that. It was like this weird thing, like, obviously knitting is a predominantly female-led craft and has been for hundreds, thousands of years, and it uses physics. It's very technical and scientific, but because it's always like women's work, if you will, which is, I hate that word, but it's always like downplayed as like, oh, it's just this making clothes, this silly thing that they do. They couldn't possibly understand the science behind it, whereas scientists, predominantly male, obviously, are somehow baffled by it, and there couldn't be any crossover. There couldn't be like a female scientist or females who are smart enough to understand the physics or the science behind it, and that's how they've made this craft and evolved it and come up with all these amazing patterns, and throughout history I've done so many things with it. So it was very cringy, that amongst a bunch of other things, like calling it knots, which obviously I'm Knotty Bear, but technically they are interconnected loops, which is a common misconception, and I think on a surface level is totally fine to call them knots, but when you're talking about it scientifically and you're looking at things factually, which they were, to call it that is not correct. So there were a lot of things. I will, like I said, include 2 videos here. The other one is the fact check video by Christine Vike, which was also excellent. She kind of just broke down each thing. So yeah, he's currently getting roasted there. I don't think he's had any kind of update. I would love, and he has done this in the past, where when someone corrects him, he creates a new video and has all the updated information. I would love to see that. I think we will see that at some point. When I first saw this video, it was sent to me by one of my patrons. Hi, if you're watching. And I kind of just skipped through it. I honestly didn't watch the full thing or like look into it too much. And then it kind of started blowing up, and I was like, what is going on here? But I would love to also see a crochet one, but by an actual crocheter. He can be involved, but I would love to see more actual knitters or crocheters actually a part of the process, because it really didn't feel like in that video they had actually consulted actual knitters and people who have been doing this for generations. So I just thought it was interesting. It's a little bit of drama there, nothing too crazy. One of the other topics that I was going to mention, but then I was like, you know what, I don't know if I should, involves Jonah Larson, which someone commented on one of my videos here who something about this situation, and they used that name, and honestly it didn't click to me in that moment what they were talking about and how they were surprised that they were still posting on social media. And normally I would just like be like, maybe it's a bot, or I'll just leave it. But something was like, I should just Google search his name and see what comes up. And it actually came up with the crochet prodigy known as Jonah Larson, which is Jonah Hands. And there is some serious allegations going on there. Again, this is all alleged, just my opinion. However, he was charged with something. I'm not going to say what it was. You can go look on that on your own. It's very serious, and I do not take it lightly. Obviously, we don't know much about it. I am like a white man. I don't want, and he is very young. He's a person of color. I don't want to be like coming for him, especially if this is proven not to be true. But if it is, it's a huge deal. But the drama that I wanted to talk about actually isn't so much about that, but when I was looking into this rather, a lot of people were questioning what was happening with his social media, because to their knowledge, he was not posting, obviously dealing with this and other things. And it sounds like his parents, which may have been more involved in this whole journey, are posting still as if nothing has happened. Nobody's acknowledged it. And it just feels super icky. Again, this is just my opinion and all alleged. But if that is the case, then they're just, posting to benefit off of, his hard work and everything, regardless of the fact that maybe he doesn't want to do it right now, and not talking about the situation. It all feels just a little bit icky and weird. Honestly, it sounds like we'll probably have to wait a little bit to hear more. I really hope that this is not true. I also believe in, trusting and believing the victims when they come forward. So it's just an unfortunate thing that I wish wasn't a thing, to be honest. He is obviously so talented and has this amazing gift. And I really hope that this isn't true. If it is, I feel terrible for the families of the victim and all that. I don't know what else to say about it. I just wanted to bring it up because I actually, like I said, aside from that comment, haven't really seen anything about this or anyone talking about it. Maybe it's the same reason I was. People aren't sure if they should talk about it because it's still all alleged and nothing has been confirmed, I guess, as of right now. One of the other little bits of like yarn drama kind of is right now, obviously the world is very political, especially in the States. There's so much going on. And there's like this weird resistance saying that like these channels or YouTubers or other crocheters or fiber artists shouldn't get political, and that somehow crafting should be political. I'm not going to break down the history, but I will include a link or a couple links down in the description. But knitting especially has always been very political. It's been used in war times to get messages across. It's been used in political statements a lot of the time, especially with women's rights and things like that. Very important topics. So I think it's just a little bit strange when people are like knitting or crafting isn't political. It definitely is, and everyone has a right to their opinion. And if they want to talk about real world subjects going on, I think you know, they should have a right to, myself included. Obviously, there's a lot of terrible things going on, and I do try and keep it pretty lighthearted, but at the same time, after a while, it feels a little bit dystopian, not to mention some of the terrible things that are going on in the world. But I fully support anyone who wants to make their crafty projects political. Someone that does a really good job at this is, I believe, Not Dude is his username. I follow him on Instagram mostly, and I believe TikTok. He actually just posted this amazing amigurumi project that I'll put here, which is like, obviously there's terrible things going on in the States with racial profiling, and this kind of calls that out a little bit in a crafty way, and I think it's just so smart. And he also always goes out of his way to bring up injustices and makes crafting political, which I think is just awesome. I'm sure you follow him if you follow me. He's very talented and amazing. So I thought I'd just mention that. Aside from that, other drama, nothing too crazy going on right now. Anyways, on to lighter news. I made this really cute, oh, where are you? Susie, pronunciation. The pronunciation is still unclear. However, I did make this last week, and it kind of blew up on social media a little bit. I had to post it to my Instagram, but I'm still obsessed with the way this turned out. If you want my pattern notes for this, you can join the Patreon, which I will say I've had quite a few new faces over there, so thank you for joining. I try and add little pattern notes like this one and a ton of others. I actually have a whole shelf there of amigurumi that is like not my own design, if you know what I mean. And I really have to clean up the shelf. Maybe if you're interested, I'll include something there, me cleaning the shelf. Actually, scrap that. I'm not doing that today. But you can go join. If you join the good stuffing or the fully stuffed tiers, you have access to the pattern library, which has a bunch of pattern notes like this. You also get a gift, shop discounts, all that stuff, but I'll leave it there. Thank you in advance if you do join, and thank you to everyone who is a part of the community. I will do another thank you at the end because I just love you that much. A lot of you have mentioned that you would love for me to do the blue tiger that matches that, which I knew would happen. I shouldn't be surprised by it. I was looking at that design again, and I just love to do all the details when I'm working on like character designs and stuff, and there are just so many details there. So I think I just have to get started slowly. No promises, but I have seen a couple online that are so well done, so you can definitely find them out there. I don't know if they're patterns. I'm assuming they probably are. I'm also working on that jackalope design, which I had the poll for on my Patreon and I believe YouTube. You all voted for me to do a jackalope. I'm doing like a demoned jackalope, and I'm actually doing that in like some cool blue colors. I don't really have much to show you, to be honest. I just have like this body, but there are some fun colors there. So definitely stay tuned for that. Also in my last video, I kind of showed a capybara blind box, which I had a full section of me opening this. This is my first little blind box. If you don't know what those are, it's like a little boo-boo. You buy the little box and it could be like one of whatever 10 different designs. And the thing you do, the social media thing you do is like, you pick which one you want the most, like your top tier one that you would love. You pick the ones that you were like okay with, and then you pick the ones that you hate, and you let that be known to whoever's watching before you open it, and then you open it and you get your surprise. And I will include, if I still have that footage, at the end of this video if you're interested. I know a couple of you asked about it, but my top pick was the turtle backpack. My bottom pick was the crocodile, and I was pretty much happy with anything else. And as you can see, I got the turtle backpack, which is my top pick. He's so cute. I actually did show it in that video a little bit, but it does, I have all the lights on. Here, let me set the mood here. He does light up, and he obviously has the little sparkle, which is super cute. I don't know, stupid tchotchke things, but I will say it feels very well made. It is adorable. So probably my first and ever little blind box, but really cute. Like I said, watch to the end. I'll try and include the footage of that if I still have it. I want to finish the video here by just saying a thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday in the last video. Sorry if I couldn't get back to you all, but thank you so much for the well wishes. I really do appreciate that. This is where we got to with our little winter hat toque, which I think is going to be pretty cute. I'm already much happier with this shape and size than I was the last one. A huge thank you, as always, to my patrons for supporting me and being a part of the community. I couldn't do this without you. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this video, if you would like to see some more kind of relaxed, casual crochet chat videos in the future. Next week's video, we'll be back to making some kind of yarn shenanigan thing, I promise. But thank you so much for watching this one, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay naughty, friends. Bye. I was doing the thumbnail. Oh boy. I know what you're talking about.
Do the little... Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so I'm aiming for
What do you want?
rubber ducky, carrot, or turtle's my number one.
Okay.
I would only be not happy with, not happy, but unhappy with the alligator. But honestly, I kind of need to see it. What?
I love an unboxing video.
I don't want to know what it is.
I know what it is.
I kind of want to see the hamburger.
It's the turtle!
Oh my god, you got what you
I
wanted! Okay, wait, that's so cute. Give it a little shake.
The one I wanted the most.
That's pretty
Turtle.
good.
Turtle!
No, upside down, upside down.
Turtle.
Yeah, they oh.
No, shut up.
What? Oh my god.
Mystical.
$10 for that's a steal.
Right?
Right? They're giving them away.